Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the American Federation of Teachers, Randy Weingarten, Dr. Jill Biden, and the Vice President of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Everyone, it's great to be here with the American Federation of Teachers, because being a teacher is not what I do, it's who I am. I know all of you understand that. Like you, I see every day how important education is in the lives of all Americans. I see how a good education can put kids on a path to success. I also know from experience that while teaching is rewarding, it is also challenging. The President and the Vice President truly understand this as well. They have been teachers, both of them, and they know that a great school starts with great teachers. And that's why they're working hard to support education, to support teachers, and to provide renewed leadership in our schools.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joe Biden, and I'm in love with the teacher. By the way, not a joke, we travel, Jill occasionally, when she's able to, travels around the world with me. I've traveled over 600,000 miles since becoming vice president, and she's come everywhere from Iraq with me to everywhere else around the world. And I finally, only teachers will fully understand this. I tell her, Jill, please, don't walk off the plane with that god-awful big, ugly bag with 300 papers in your bag walking off. I swear to God. Ask anybody, including the military aides, on every flight. It's papers, papers, every car, papers, papers, papers. I wanted to come and see several thousand members of a profession that has necessarily unionized, because otherwise you don't get a fair shot. What we see when we look at you, Barack and I and Jill and Michelle, is we see educators, we see professionals, we see teachers, we see public servants who are under full-blown assault today. Governor Romney's plan for public education is straightforward. He says, let the states use all the Title I dollars to boost enrollment in private schools and alternative schools, and basically the effect is to strip you of your voice. He characterizes you and his allies. They characterize you as only caring about yourselves. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think they know you. I don't think he knows you. You're not in this fight just because of your job. You're in this fight for the same reason Jill is. None of you decided that when you were going through college, you know, I really want to go out there and be a teacher because I can really make a lot of money. I want to go out there because I'll get to live in the big house. You're out there to teach because some teacher did something for you that made you understand that you had something in you that you may be able to pass it on. Now, when the school district runs out of money because of this god-awful recession they inflicted on y'all, it's you who sacrifice and forgo contractual raises, and you who make other sacrifices to maintain full-day kindergarten like you did in this Long Island. It's you who keeps the art and gym classes going in Toledo, Ohio. It's you who keeps early education available in Los Angeles, California. It's you who keeps class sizes down in Providence, Rhode Island. I could go on and on and on. It's you who take money out of your pocket When the kids in your class don't have tablets, don't have pencils, don't have pens, it's you who do that. It's not somebody else, it's you. Look, Governor Romney and his Republican friends in Congress and his Republican friends in governor seats, instead of focusing on the things they could help you do your job better at, like making sure that you got a modern chem and science lab, that your kids have access to computers, enabling you to continue to have a program in arts and music, giving you flexibility you need to be creative teachers, teach with passion, and not teach to a test. It's you they should be helping. We public officials should be debating among ourselves who wants to do more to invest in early education so that there is no achievement gap, because you close it before the kid gets in first grade. We should be debating about how big a seat you have at the table, not whether you get to sit at the table when we talk about how to improve education in America. When someone would say, "This is what I value, Joe," his name was Joe, my dad would say, "Don't tell me what you value. Show me your budget, and I will tell you what you value." Don't tell me what you value. Show me your budget, and I will tell you. Don't tell me you value women in the workplace and you don't hire any women. Don't tell me you value education and you don't invest in it. The Republican budget, endorsed by Governor Romney, just take a look at what it does about how much they value education. It cuts $900 million out of elementary and secondary education, which could result in as many as 38,000 teachers and aides losing their job this fall. They cut Head Start. As many as 200,000 kids will lose access to early learning opportunity to give them a fighting chance to be able to graduate. They cut Pell Grants. More than 9 million students would lose an average of $1,000 a year, making a difference whether they could stay or not. They cut college work-study programs. More than 100,000 college students will be affected in their ability to stay in college because of these work-study programs. They eliminate the college tuition tax credit that we're so proud of. That's $10,000 a year $10,000 for 4 years for each of your children, for middle-class and aspiring families who can afford it. And they call you selfish. Ladies and gentlemen, let me describe selfish for you. The reason they make all these cuts, and not just with you, but they cut law enforcement, firefighters, Medicaid, they cut a whole range of things. Why do they do it? In order to provide additional tax cuts, which will average well over $250,000 a year for people making over $1 million. Romney went on to say, quote, this is what I love. He said, "I was not pleased with what I read about a plan to save 240,000 teachers' jobs." He was not pleased. He was not pleased. In Philadelphia, he told a group of teachers the obvious: class size doesn't matter. You all know that, right? Prompting one of the people at this set table, they didn't pick them because they thought they were going to be hostile, said, quote, "You know, I can't think of any teacher in the whole time I've been teaching over 10 years that would say more students would benefit them. And I can't think of a parent that would say I'd like my teacher to be in a room with lots of kids and only one teacher, end of quote. Folks, some of this, as that old saying goes, is not rocket science. It's just kind of basic. But I think it's because he and others have a totally different perspective than most of us had growing up. The core of the debate is about how important it is, if it's important, to rebuild the middle class. A middle class of the 21st century, a middle class of the 21st century that's as vibrant and dynamic and as open and accessible as it was in the 20th century. But you know what's happened in the middle class at the beginning of this century? It's been clobbered. It's been absolutely clobbered. And so the argument at its core, when you strip everything aside, is we think you build and rebuild this country from the middle out. They honestly believe. I don't think it's about rewarding wealthy friends, or I don't buy that. It's about, they believe that truly the best way to make us the most competitive nation in the world in the 21st century is from the top down. Because I don't think they think much of our capacity. They think it has to come from the top down. We believe, and we think history shows, that the way America has grown and led the world is from the middle out. Because when the middle class is doing well, the poor have a ladder up and opportunity, and the wealthy do very, very, very well. Because you all have money to spend. In our vision, Barack's and mine, it's not about only how much is demanded of you, but how much is accorded you. Our vision sees you being treated and rewarded and respected for the professionals you are. Our vision is that when your kids graduate and decide to go on to school, if you're old enough to have kids graduating, go on to teach, that when they decide to say, I'm going to teach, they get paid the same starting salary as an engineer or any other professional graduate. I mean it sincerely. It all goes back to my dad. Don't tell me what you value. Show me your budget and I'll tell you what you value. Don't tell me you value educators and pay them so little when they start. Don't make demands, in fact, unless you are prepared to make commitments. Unlike our Republican friends in this new Republican Party, we don't see you as the problem. We see you as the solution. You understand. And the reason we see you as a solution is you understand, as William Butler Yeats said, education is not the filling of a pail, it's the lighting of a fire. Education is not the filling of a pail, it's the lighting of a fire. So folks, it's time for all of us, rich and not so rich, all of us, to provide you the kind of kindling you need to light that fire. Because unless we light that fire, we are never going to reach the goals and aspirations of this great country. And at root, it depends on you, and it depends on us treating you like the professionals you are. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.